Restoration Games, every game deserves another turn. Brothers Murph, sponsored by Restoration Games. This Metagame Minute isn't like specifically sponsored by them. We're not talking about any of their games, but I'm just in this shirt today because I like this shirt. But nonetheless, we are corporate shills and we're fine with that fact.
3, 2, 1, bro.
What's up, everybody? My name is Nick Murphy. I'm one half of the Brothers Murph, and this is Metagame Minute. Metagame Minute is a weekly segment where Mike or I talk about anything we want to talk about in the gaming world. Today, I want to talk about theme. I talk about theme a lot. I love theme. Theme is very, very important to me. And yeah, I'm okay with that. Some people it's not that important, and that's totally cool too. I love theme though, and I think theme is very useful for many reasons. I think theme is the best thing to get people into games. Choosing a theme that you know they like. Oh, they like tea. Have them play chai. You know, I really think it's a great way to get people into games. But I think one of the other things it's very, very useful for is, in my opinion, like carrying games. I think themes can legit carry games. I don't think a theme is gonna take like a really bad game and make it good, or even take a really bad game and make it like playable for me. Like just because I like a theme doesn't mean I'm going to absolutely like always wanna play that game. But there are definitely some games where I wouldn't like it, honestly, if it wasn't for the theme. And I honestly think that's fine. I think that theme is like, hey, good job. You got me to play a game that I probably wouldn't like. But I do think that theme can carry games in other ways. An example of that is Prodigals Club, which based off of our last top 100 is my second favorite game of all time. I freaking love the Prodigals Club. I think it's incredible. Now, this is kind of a big, heavy, complicated, stressful game ultimately, because you have essentially 3 parts of the game that you are having to work in. You have to do them all as best as you can, because by the end of the game, whatever those 3 areas you did the worst in, that's your score for the game. The other 2 don't matter at all. So you have to basically bring them all down equally so that your score is as best it can possibly be, which is great. But that is very stressful because about halfway through the game, 3/4 of the way through the game, you're just like, I can't do this. There's no way I can get this done. Oh my gosh. And you always end up pulling it off, and it's very satisfying because that's a very good mechanical part of it. You can always pull it off, but it's very stressful. But the thing that keeps me going in this game the most is the theme. I love this theme because you're just being a huge douchebag in the game. You are trying to lose all your money, you're trying to lose all your friends, and you're trying to lose an election. You're just trying to be a big old baddie, being like, I'm gonna go to a restaurant and just throw food at the wall, and everyone's gonna be like, I hate that guy. I'm not gonna be his friend anymore. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I wanted. And the theme is just so weird and silly and fun and light that it makes the game feel lighter, even though it's not. Even though like inside I'm just like, oh my God, how am I gonna get this done? But then I'm like, oh, but I'm gonna go to like the park and just start screaming about some crazy conspiracy stuff, and that's gonna make people not vote for me. Oh, that's all right, that's kind of funny. All right, cool, let me go over here and do this now. And it constantly keeps me going, and I love that about the theme. And sometimes it can make you love a game, even though if that game had a different theme, you would definitely never, ever, ever play it. And a prime example of that is War of the Ring. I love War of the Ring. But here's the thing, if War of the Ring wasn't Lord of the Rings themed, I would hate this game. Flat out hate it. Would never, ever, ever play it because I don't like war games. I don't see the point in war games. Again, this is my personal opinion. That's not me saying you shouldn't like war games or you shouldn't see a point in them. Just for me, they're not my kind of game. I have no interest in playing war games. They have no appeal to me at all. But I love War of the Ring. You know why? Because I love Lord of the Rings. Look, we have Gandalf, a 3D printed bust of Gandalf. We have a Frodo lunchbox right here. We love Lord of the Rings. So Lord of the Rings keeps me going in this game and makes me love it. Because even when I'm like, oh God, there's all these troops around, and this is not my kind of game, but I'm like, oh, if I can play this card that has Tom Bombadil on it. I love Tom Bombadil. Hey, Tom Bombadil, Tom Bombadil. And I can just like get into it, and it keeps me going in a game that I, for the most part, would probably flat out hate. Just flat out hate. But you know what? I freaking love this game. It's probably close to in my top 10. And that's what theme can do. So for me, theme is very, very important. But how is it for you? Do you have any games where the theme really carries you through it? Whether it's a situation like Prodigals Club, where it just makes the game feel a little bit lighter so you can kind of keep going? Or is it like War of the Ring, where it takes a game that you would never, ever, ever play and make you love it? Let me know down in the comments below your kind of feelings toward this, if you have any games where the theme really carries. And that's gonna be it for me today. And whether or not theme carries you through games, or you just don't care. You're like, you know what, I'm just here for mechanics, and that's totally cool. Remember, the more meta, the more better. Thank you so much for watching that video. If you want to check out last week's Metagame Minute with Mike, check out that video right there. And that video right there is going to be a full playthrough of War of the Ring. I think it's really, really good. We worked really hard on it, and I think it's really fun. And we quote War of the Rings a lot. So if you like people quoting a movie a lot, it's going to be right there. Also, like this video and subscribe and share.